Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Right now on GMSA, 3 people in the hospital this morning after a graduation party ends in gunfire. The latest details from police.
And in a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Congressman Will Hurd live to talk about what Congress can do about police reform and the strategy going forward in regards to the economic fallout from the pandemic.
And should be a live shot of downtown San Antonio. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. Until then, good morning. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Stephanie Cerna. Thanks for joining us. Happy Sunday. Happy Flag Day.
Happy Sunday. Happy Flag Day. It is also the birthday of the Army.
That's right. Happy birthday, U.S. Army.
Happy birthday. And it is going to be a perfect day to get out there, wave the flag.
Yes,
celebrate
low humidity. So we are lucky to have that right now, right, Sarah?
Yeah, low humidity and even a breeze. So if you got a flag, fly it, because it's going to be a beautiful day outside. I'll give you that look outside with live cam here. It is looking really nice in downtown San Antonio. We are seeing a beautiful start to the day with temperatures pretty comfortable. Now, earlier this morning, we were in the low to mid 60s. Now we're at 70 degrees from just about an hour of sunshine there. So we're warming up efficiently already, and we're going to continue to see the temperatures rise all day long. But it does feel pretty good outside. It's 63 at Bernie Stage Airfield, 61 in Kerrville, 58 still in Comfort, 68 in Divine, 61 at Rio Medina. It's 72 in New Braunfels, 66 in Floresville, and a wider view here, 72 in Del Rio, 66 in Rock Springs, and 71 out in Gonzales. Really nice start with the low humidity today, and we won't have much to complain about, except it will be a little toasty in the afternoon, 92 degrees, but the key there is low humidity. Now, unfortunately, we are going to see the humidity return early tomorrow morning, so enjoy the low humidity today. Surprisingly, we have yet to hit 100 degrees at the airport. Even though it was really hot last week, the heat index values were only close to 100 to 105, not the thermometer. So we have yet to officially hit 100 degrees at the airport this year. When was the latest year in San Antonio, the last year in San Antonio that we went without triple digits? 1976, 1984, 1994, or 2007? Think about it. I'll have the answer for you coming up, as well as a look at the return of humidity. Max?
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, a night of celebration ends in gunfire after San Antonio police tell us 3 people were shot at a graduation party. Officers tell us it happened in the 4600 block of Argonne Drive. All of this unfolding just before 10 o'clock last night. Witnesses at the party say a man was running in the streets, screaming for help, saying he was being chased. That's when people in a truck drove up to that home, argued with partygoers, and well, they pulled out 2 guns, started shooting. Police say 3 people at the party were shot, a 15-year-old boy, a 47-year-old man, and a 30-year-old woman. They were all taken to BAMC, 2 stable. 1 is in critical condition. Police do have a suspect in custody. No charges have been filed yet. The shooting still remains under investigation.
Also new this morning, a game of beer pong in a backyard ends abruptly after someone in the group was shot. It happened in the 500 block of Enid Street around 10:45 last night. Police say the group heard a pop and then saw their friend fall over. When they turned him around, they found blood and a bullet hole in his back. He was taken to University Hospital in stable condition. Police say that another person was shot at the same location last weekend and that they're in the process of comparing shell casings from both incidents.
And right now, Royce City Police Department asking for your help finding a 16-year-old girl who disappeared yesterday morning. Royce police say 16-year-old Kylie White last seen in the 500 block of Love Lane in Royce City around 2 a.m. She's 5'8", blonde hair, hazel eyes, and pink braces. Officers believe that she is in grave or immediate danger. If you have any information that can help authorities, you are asked to call the Royce City Police Department. That number on your screen is 972-204-7002.
SAWS crews have a big mess to clean up today after water flooded a neighborhood. Residents in the Stonehaven subdivision off of Ralph Fair Road on the far northwest side say their street began flooding around 11 last night. We have a call in to SAWS right now. We're going to update you on the situation as more information becomes available. Now take a look at the video. This was captured by one of our KSAT viewers early this morning around 2 a.m. She says she contacted SAWS repeatedly to report the issue, and according to residents there in that area, 2 employees were dispatched and told their water will be shut off as they make significant repairs.
And we are continuing to follow the latest on that rebar shooting from yesterday morning. 8 people shot right in front of the bar. Police say an intoxicated man shot at bystanders after he was refused entry into rebar. Neighbors near rebar say that the bar scene has caused a lot of frustration, including people parking in their yards. They have to hear loud music, and even some patrons of the bar defecating on neighbors' property. Clearly, this shooting adding to the outrage. District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry says they will have more discussions with the community about their concerns, possibly looking into adding more signage in the area, protecting residents, and increasing police patrol. At our last check, the gunman has not yet been caught. In streets across the country, we see the outrage and demand for change, all in the aftermath of George Floyd's death.
These calls for action are being listened to, and they're prompting reform. In today's Leading SA, we're joined by Congressman Will Hurd. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be on with y'all.
Good morning, Congressman. All right, we're just going to jump right into it. As protests continue around the country, what is your message to demonstrators and to your constituents?
Well, my message is simple. A black man should not be dying in police custody. We saw it happen again this Friday in Atlanta, and we should be making sure that police departments across the country are using best practices. This is something that we can incentivize through Congress. There's about $2 billion worth of Department of Justice grants that go to local police departments, and we should be making sure those are going to people that are following best practices. Mental health is an issue. In San Antonio, San Antonio Police Department is kind of a leader when it comes to mental health, but unfortunately, across the country, most police departments only get about 8 hours of training. In San Antonio, the San Antonio Police Department does 40 hours. Why does this matter? 1 in every 10 stops that the police does has something to do with a mental health issue. This is something that we also want to make sure that bad cops get fired. Oftentimes, a police chief knows who the bad cops are, and they try to fire them, and through an adjudication process, they get put back on the force. That's something that's absolutely outrageous, and it impacts the reputation of the entire force because of a handful of bad folks. So this is the kind of stuff and solutions we're looking for to change in Washington, D.C. I'm working with my colleague and friend Henry Cuellar on making sure that the support is there financially through the appropriations process to do some of these things so that we can make sure that we have police forces across the country that continue to protect and serve us.
And Congressman Hurd, you marched in Houston, and on several occasions you spoke out, like at the SA Food Bank. And so how did the chance of defund the police resonate with you and your colleagues?
Well, defund the police actually is going to make our communities less safe, right? It's a crazy idea in my opinion, but we should be making sure every dollars go to the police department, go for best practices and improvement and being the best that they can be. And so that's what we're working for. I don't think many in Washington, D.C. actually believe in getting rid of funds to the police department because, again, they have a difficult job. And whether your skin is black or your uniform is blue, you shouldn't be targeted on our streets. And the men and women in the police, most times are protecting and serving, but we need to be focused on those ones that are not following best practices. And we need to make sure there's training to make sure that they know how to handle a de-escalation and things like that.
And turning to the coronavirus and obviously the huge fallout economically, this week you announced $18 million to be distributed across the cities of San Antonio and El Paso, including Bexar County. So what are those funds' primary function?
Those funds were housing and urban development grants to help our most vulnerable population, the homeless. It's going to entities that are ensuring that folks that are homeless have the resources they need in order to continue to be safe. Everyone's going to have to deal with coronavirus until we have a vaccine. Some say it may be within the next 12 months, maybe it's a little bit sooner. But in the meantime, this is the new normal for us. and we have to be continuing to increase testing. Again, San Antonio is leading the way. San Antonio is one of the few cities where anybody can get a diagnostic test for COVID-19. And San Antonio has been leading the way because we've been dealing with this longer than most. We were dealing with this back in the third week in January when we had those 91 U.S. citizens from Wuhan province brought here to Lackland Air Force Base. So this is going to continue to be an issue. There's probably going to be an additional stimulus support. Those details are still being worked out, and those negotiations are ongoing, likely not to be completed until probably after the 4th of July, as we have more chance to see where the economy is going based on all these reopenings.
And speaking of that, the CARES Act upgraded unemployment benefits run out at the end of July. Do you see a possible extension?
This is one of the areas of debates. Will there be an extension? Potentially, but one thing that will not happen is you will not be able to make more money on unemployment than you did at your previous job. That's something that's impacting the ability of people to get back to work. And so that's an area that will be restricted so that doesn't happen again. We're also going to have to evaluate how federal funds go to cities and counties and states to help. We know the impact to city budgets, and the question is going to be if federal dollars are given to cities and counties and states, how can those dollars be used? One area that I think everybody agrees on is modernization of our digital infrastructure. On that unemployment issue, we gave more money to unemployment, but the Texas Workforce Commission, the state agency, had a difficult time managing the new load because they didn't have the digital infrastructure they needed. So what if we use federal funds in order to make sure that we're providing better digital facing services? That's a project that I'm working on, and I think something that we can find bipartisan and bicameral agreement to make sure that we're not just talking about a recovery. For me, the word recovery means going back to a place you've already been. I want to talk about advancement. I want to be better when we come out of this COVID-19 crisis, and modernizing our infrastructure is one way to do that.
All right, Congressman Will Hurd, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
And time now, 8:12, 70 degrees out.
National Rivers Month, and this morning on GMSA, we'll be live with the San Antonio River Authority with more on their mission on how they're able to keep the San Antonio River so beautiful.
And it's a beautiful Sunday outside, 70 degrees, nice low humidity. We're going to check in with Sarah after the break.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Sunday. The San Antonio River Authority celebrating National Rivers Month. So during the month of June, the River Authority wants to raise awareness on the beauty of our rivers and how we can work together to make sure they stay okay.
Our Alicia Beretta is live from Acequia Park with more on the work that happens there in order to clean our very own San Antonio River.
Good morning, you guys. Well, I've been really looking forward to this story, so I've invited Miss Kristen Hansen. She's the Watershed and Park Operations Manager for Sarah. What do we hope that people take away from National Rivers Month? What is the big purpose?
So the purpose behind National Rivers Month is to give the community and the public an opportunity to really learn about the San Antonio River, how to keep it beautiful, how to really be able to enjoy the river.
And the big reason, you guys, that I wanted to share this story is that I usually bike or run along this trail, and after those thunderstorms hit, I noticed a lot of trash, but then on my way back home, it was clean, and that's because of the workers, and we see them out here this morning. What exactly is it that their responsibilities are to help maintain the river clean?
So they have a lot of responsibilities to maintain the 9 Mile project. What you see here are Paul and Nathan picking up some litter along the riverside. Their main focus, of course, is the safety of the public. So as soon as we have a rain event, if there's silt and sediment on the trail, they come through and they clear that. The whole team does. And then they start working on the litter. And so we have that opportunity between our staff and some contractors to pick up all the litter along the river.
Kristen, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And we're going to stick around here at Acequia Park to speak more on what we can do when we come explore. Again, you said 9 miles, right, is what people can come explore here. So the different opportunities, hiking, fishing, running, mentioned cycling, lots to do. Back to you.
It looks beautiful out there, Alicia, and what a great
Very
day
beautiful.
to clean up the river, right?
Yeah. Hey, why don't we start off with the river forecast?
Okay.
Like a river walk in a park forecast. What do you guys think about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the river forecast for the day. We are going to be able to see temperatures climbing all the way up to about 92 degrees today, but low humidity will be really nice out there. East-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So if you do go out to the river walk, go out to the park, make sure to find some shade. Okay, before the break, Max and Stephanie, I did ask this question. We have yet to officially hit 100 degrees at the airport, and we won't do it this week, okay? We just won't. When was the last year that we went without hitting triple digits? It's possible. When was last year?
Well, because you asked when was the latest year.
Yeah, the latest year.
I'm going to guess 2007.
2007, okay.
I'm going to go 1994.
All right, Stephanie's right again.
Undefeated.
I think this is like 4 in a row. That's
She's 27 and 2. We're actually keeping score at this point. 27 and 2.
Yeah,
Stephanie's
back in 2007, 13 years ago. That's crazy that 2007 was 13 years ago. We missed out on hitting 100, and we won't hit it this week, but we've still got a whole heck of a lot of summer to get through. It's 70 degrees outside right now. Beautiful start to the day. This morning, temperatures were in the 50s and 60s around San Antonio and up into the hill country. Now things have warmed up slightly, still in the 60s out in Kerrville, 63 degrees, 67 in Hondo. It's 72 in New Braunfels, 71 in Gonzales, 71 in Pleasanton, and 72 out toward Del Rio. In the futurecast, I can't rule out a coastal shower, but here in San Antonio, we are going to stay dry today. Looking at high temperature in the low 90s. Just about everywhere you look, even up in the hill country, it should get up to about 90 degrees near Bernie and Leon Springs as well. 93 for the high in Castroville, 92 in Lavernia, 92 at JBSA Randolph, 92 in downtown San Antonio. We'll already be at 80 degrees by 10, 86 by noon, 92 in the afternoon. But the key today is going to be low humidity. I hope you've enjoyed our stretch of low humidity. We've had about 4 to 5 days here with low humidity. Unfortunately, tomorrow the humidity will be back. Dew points today will be generally in the 50s, and that's pretty nice and pleasant on our scale, but notice how much they rise by tomorrow and Tuesday. We'll be in the muggy category practically all week long, but unfortunately, that will not result in widespread rain. The reason for that, we've got this big blocking high pressure system that's going to allow for any rainfall systems across the United States to go up and over the high. So in Texas, we'll generally stay dry and toasty with high temperatures in the 90s. Now, the one exception to this is going to be those showers that may develop along the coastal plain. So this is over the next few days. We'll likely see a few showers develop down near Beeville, Victoria, and Corpus Christi. There is an off chance even tomorrow that 1 or 2 of those may make it up to that I-10 corridor, I-35 corridor rather. So we're going to give you at about a 10 to 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm tomorrow. But the key here is no widespread rain expected for us over the next 7 days. And that's a little unfortunate because June happens to be one of the rainiest months of the year. Although we don't have drought around San Antonio right now, that could change because, again, it's going to be dry as a bone over the next 7 days, albeit hot and humid. Stephanie, Max.
Thank you, Sarah. We will be prepared.
Thanks, Sarah. 821, 70 degrees out.
Still ahead on GMSA, the reaction from a popular comedian after protesting in California. What Tiffany Haddish had to say about the Black Lives Matter movement.
I'm mad. I'm fed up. And when I get upset, I try to, it hurts. So I try to laugh it, try to figure out a way to make it funny so you can process it, so you can deal with it. It's really hard. I got PTSD. I've watched many of my friends be killed by the police, and it is devastating. It's scary.
And that is comedian Tiffany Haddish. She got a little emotional at a California protest this week. While marching the streets of LA with fellow protesters, Haddish shared how she felt about the Black Lives Matter movement. She went on to say, quote, "I shouldn't feel like it's dangerous to be born the way that I was born," end quote.
Also in your Spotlight news, this is a big one. SpongeBob fans somewhat taken by surprise after Nickelodeon tweeted that its beloved character, part of the LGBTQ community. The post included SpongeBob SquarePants reading, "Celebrating pride with the LGBTQ plus community and their allies this month and every month." And time now, 8:26, 70 degrees out.
And the move for police reform continuing across the country. What we know about the autonomous zones like one in Seattle, that's next on GMSA.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Stephanie Cerna. Thanks for joining us this morning. Happy Sunday. It is so nice with the low humidity. We went for a bike ride yesterday. It was very nice. It almost felt like, spring or fall for a second in the evening.
Yesterday was perfect. My girlfriend got roller skates because apparently they're trendy now.
Oh, cool.
I'm like the least trendy person.
They're hard to get. Yeah, they're on back order.
It's very 90s, but either way, yesterday, a perfect day. Tried to work on the tan. I listened to you. I listened to Sarah. I got the SPF 50 out.
Awesome.
Did it safely.
Yeah, if you follow Max on Instagram, you'll notice that yesterday he said the girlfriend wanted to go skating. I wanted to go swimming, so we compromised and went skating, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it's beautiful outside right now. You can see that gorgeous sky there. It's nice and clear out there and not too hot either. It is 70 degrees at the airport. Meanwhile, it's still in the 60s up in the hill country, 66 at Bernie Stage Airfield, 63 in Kerrville, 61 in Comfort, 65 in Bandera, and 67 in Tarpley. A really beautiful start to the day. Just about everywhere you look around the KSAT 12 viewing area, all thanks to that low humidity. Now, unfortunately, by the start of this week, it's going to be humid once again, but we do have one more day of low humidity. So if you plan on going to a backyard barbecue forecast or maybe just barbecuing yourself outside, know that it's going to get toasty in the afternoon. 92 for the high, but that low humidity will keep things in check. East-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We've got to turn and talk about that return of humidity here soon. So I'll have a look at that as well as rain chances in the upcoming week coming up shortly. Stephanie?
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, one man is in the hospital in serious condition after he was shot at the Monte Carlo Club off of Northwest Loop 410. Police say two men and a woman were trying to get into that club, but were denied entry because they were heavily intoxicated. That's when officers say the group got in their vehicle, drove around the front, and fired several shots toward the front door, hitting a man standing outside. After they tried to get away, they hit a curb and blew out the back tire. The driver kept going and drove down Vance Jackson on the rim of the tire until police caught up to them at the shopping center on Wurzbach. The gunman threw the gun in a bush. Now, all three were arrested. The victim was taken to University Hospital in serious condition.
And this is new this morning. A woman in police custody facing charges of endangering a child, a risk of bodily injury after her infant died in the care of her mother. Police say 38-year-old Crystal Acosta arrested last night just before 9:30. Investigators say Acosta showed signs of impairment. Drugs found inside the home. This is an ongoing and a fluid story. Make sure to stay with KSAT on air and online for the latest updates. And in your latest news, a different kind of protest happening at the Alamo this weekend. Dozens rallying against a plan to relocate the Alamo cenotaph. The Alamo master plan proposed by the state calls for the cenotaph to be moved 500 feet south of where it is now. Those who oppose the plan say it interferes with the Alamo's history. One protester says there is no need to relocate it at all. Well, the cenotaph was built in 1939 as a memorial to those who fought during the Battle of the Alamo.
Let's look at the latest numbers of confirmed COVID-19 cases in our area. There are 230 new positive COVID-19 cases, its highest report for a single day ever here in Bexar County, bringing the total to 400,242. Metro Health also confirming 4 new deaths in our community with a total of 88 people dead related to the pandemic. Breaking it down even further, there are 148 positive patients in the hospital, with 58 in the ICU and 26 on ventilators. Local health officials say our area's daily positivity rate has doubled from just 1 week ago.
Amongst those testing positive for the virus were 3 VIA employees. The company made the announcement on their website, and they say the people who tested positive are now recovering at home. With the new cases in total, there are 8 VIA operators, 3 administrative employees, and 3 maintenance staff members, all testing positive for COVID-19. Again, all of this information according to VIA.
Over in San Marcos, almost 20 businesses have closed their doors temporarily to allow for proper cleaning and sanitation of facilities between identified lab-confirmed positive cases of COVID-19. The City of San Marcos' emergency management coordinator says the patient who tests positive chooses to inform their employer, and the owner may then decide to close the business. For the full list of those businesses that are temporarily closed, you can visit our website at KSAT.com.
And back here at home, a group of protesters marched downtown this weekend to end racial inequality, especially those in the LGBTQ community. Now, their efforts come after the Trump administration announced plans to roll back health care protections for the transgender community. Protesters at the Bexar County Courthouse say stripping away health care protections for transgender men and women opened the door for further discrimination. And across the country this morning, the move for police reform, it's intensifying.
ABC's Zachary Keish has more.
No justice! No peace! Overnight, protesters took the streets in a march against police brutality. In the nation's capital, demonstrators blocked a highway. This as protesters in several cities are taking over certain areas, claiming them as autonomous zones, free of police control. In Nashville, Tennessee, demonstrators seizing the steps of the state capitol.
We're all together and fighting for the same thing, the eradication of racism in the United States.
The group camping out, the governor threatening action. In Asheville, North Carolina, protesters attempted to block a freeway before officers moved in, tearing down barriers. And in Seattle, for days, demonstrators have surrounded this precinct.
This building is the people's. We pay for it with our taxes.
The department surrendering the building after weeks of clashes. But as calls for police reform grow nationwide, another video made public appearing to show more excessive use of force.
Hey, that's assault second on a police officer.
In Connecticut, New Haven police are seen violently throwing a handcuffed suspect to the ground earlier this year, kicking him and pulling his hair. In California, demonstrators demanding answers after a black man was found hanging in a tree in the city of Palmdale. The sheriff's department initially saying there was no foul play in Robert Fuller's death. But overnight, local officials requesting the state attorney general oversee an investigation into his death. Now, governors in states like New York and Colorado are attempting to make change.
If you really want to be the progressive capital, you have to lead with action.
Governor Andrew Cuomo giving a 9-month deadline for government across the state of New York to come up with reforms or see their funds cut. Colorado is one of those states getting a lot of attention for their reforms. One of a number of changes that we'll see there is a ban on chokeholds. Zachary Keish, ABC News, New York.
Monday is the deadline if you plan to vote in the next month's runoff election. Election Day is July 14th, but early voting begins on June 29th. There are several ways you can go about registering. You can fill out a voter registration application online, print it, and mail it to the voter registrar in your county. For more information, you can head to our website at KSAT.com and search Vote 2020.
The need for blood is still very high. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center says they have a 3-day supply in their inventory. But when it comes to supplies of O positive, there is less than half a day supply. If you want to schedule an appointment to donate, all you have to do is call that number on your screen, 210-731-5590. The Blood Center also offering donors who give blood or give platelets a chance this month to win a prepaid 2-year lease on a new Ford Mustang. Look at that.
Nice.
You do a good thing and you get a car. It's all in partnership between Jordan Ford and the center. The center also testing for COVID-19 antibodies.
And in celebration of it being National Rivers Month, the San Antonio River Authority wants to show off the beauty of our very own river to encourage families to bike, run, kayak, and even fish.
Alicia Rivera joining us live from the park with more on the opportunities to explore along the San Antonio River. Morning, Alicia.
Good morning. I want to have y'all take a look at just how beautiful, just appreciate the beauty of the San Antonio River here by Acequia Park, but it takes a lot of work. Earlier, we saw Nathan and Paul, they're part of the weekend crew here, cleaning up, and just look how much trash they were able to pick up in just a few minutes. With me is Kristen Hansen, Watershed and Park Operations Manager. And talk to me about some of the stuff that's just so common for these workers to find.
Yeah, so you can see here in the back of the mule what the Paul and Nathan picked up, like you said, in just a few minutes. This is pretty common to find, milk jugs and bottles and cans and plastic bags and styrofoam containers. They do sometimes find, mattresses and coolers, trash cans. There was a trampoline that was blown in from someone's yard, during the storms, this last rain event. But the guys, these two and everybody else on the Mission Reach team work very hard to pick up this litter and keep the river as clean as possible for the community.
And for the community you mentioned, so what are some of the activities that people can actually take part? It's 9 miles one way. So what are some of the different activities that people can get involved in?
Right, like you said, it's 9 miles one way. We have trails on both sides of the river for almost the entire 9 miles. And a lot of people come here to do a lot of recreational activities. They run, they hike, they walk, they push strollers, they bike, they rollerblade, and then also they kayak and canoe. They come out here on a continual basis and take opportunities to recreate. And one thing to remember is that this is the community's river. It's all for the community, and we hope that people come out and enjoy it.
Wonderful. Kristen, thank you so much for being with us. Nathan, Paul, thank you so much for your work. And this is just part of what goes into keeping the San Antonio River so beautiful, especially as we celebrate National Rivers Month. Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News, back to you.
Thank you so much, Alicia. It's such a nice day to walk. You saw the people right behind her already going for a walk, so very nice.
Thank you, Alicia. 841, 70 degrees out.
And coming up after the break, getting to know a San Antonio graduate whose voice landed him a spot at one of the top music education programs in the country. We're going to introduce you to Tristino Ali.
And let's take a live look out at the Alamo City.
That's not it.
That's not it. Alicia gave us that's it.
There you go.
As you saw, it is a beautiful day to run, kayak, fish. We're going to check in with Sarah for your full forecast. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Sunday. Throughout these unprecedented times, we've been highlighting seniors in and around our area. And today's great graduate, well, his singing voice landed him a top spot at one of the top music education institutions across the entire country.
So for today's great graduate series, our Sarah Costa introduces us to Tristino Ali from Clemens High School.
Lift every voice, glorious praise up.
I was really shy, like somebody walked past me, wasn't gonna happen.
Senior Tristino Ali says it was his choir class that helped him break him out of his shell. After achieving several awards through honors choir over 4 years at Clemens High School, he says making All-State Choir this year was the most rewarding.
Definitely making the All-State Choir, that was the biggest thing ever for me. I mean, that made this year, wow.
It's what he says inspired him to continue his education in music. This fall, Tristino plans on attending the University of North Texas to study musical education. He says he's extremely proud to get into the program, saying it's one of the top 15 programs in the country.
Lift every voice.
But it wasn't just music that helped him land that spot, but also his grades. Tristino is graduating top 10% of his class from the IB program.
The IB program, man, it's hard.
One of Tristino's school counselors says his accomplishments are impressive, and she's extremely proud of his hard work.
He's one of a very small handful of students that have been extremely successful in our International Baccalaureate program, also known as IB, and he's just a phenomenal young man.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Beautiful voice. And Tristino says he wants to use his music degree to one day be a high school choir teacher. Congratulations.
That was so nice you let him finish before you talked. It was
great. Yeah. He has a great voice.
Absolutely. Yeah. So impressive. Congratulations, Tristino, and all of the class of 2020. All right, Sarah, you over there?
Yeah, I'm over here. I was actually updating the pollen count. So if you do have our KSAT Weather Authority app, you should get a notification from me within the next few seconds, because I just sent out this pollen count to everyone. Our Weather Authority app. You can see mold is low at 400. Grass and pigweed are low as well, and that is all good news there. So really, a lot shouldn't stop you from going out and enjoying today's beautiful weather, apart from having to socially distance, of course. Right now outside, it is nice and comfortable. It's 70 degrees at the airport at the moment, and it's still in the 60s in many places around San Antonio. 68 at JBSA Randolph, 64 up in the Hill Country in Kerrville, 66 in Bandera, 63 in Comfort, 71 in Canyon Lake, and 72 in New Braunfels. We started off in San Antonio right at around 65 degrees. Another beautiful start, all because of low humidity. Now, in spite of that, there still may be 1 or 2 isolated showers or storms along the coastal plain today, closer to Corpus Christi, Beeville, and Victoria, but we'll stay dry here in San Antonio. Tomorrow, however, 1 or 2 of these could actually make it to the I-35 corridor in the afternoon, but don't get your hopes up for widespread rain. That is just not in the cards, not only today, but across the week ahead. In the futurecast for today, though, sunshine into the afternoon, 92 degrees for the afternoon high here in San Antonio. Will likely be closer to 90 up in the Hill Country toward Kerrville, and then in the upper 90s out toward Del Rio. But we should avoid the triple digits everywhere around San Antonio, which is good news in my book in June. More good news, it should be pleasant around 80 degrees, sunny throughout the day, 86 around noon, east-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, while we'll have low humidity today, those east-southeast winds are going to gradually increase the humidity through tomorrow. I want to show you the humidity tracker. Right now, dew points are in the 50s or near 60 degrees. That's really pleasant for this time of year. But watch as we go through the futurecast here for the humidity, that rich green color returning to San Antonio and south central Texas. That is very humid air, going to be back by tomorrow morning and pretty much lasting throughout the entire week ahead. We'll start a pattern of morning clouds and afternoon sun, all because of that low level humidity. But again, like I said, rain chances over the next 7 days, not looking that great. We'll have an isolated shower or storm tomorrow. Like I said, around the coast, those could make it to the I-35 corridor, but it's going to be fairly dry over the next 7 days. June is usually typically rainy, and we have only seen less than 1/10 of an inch of rain this month so far. So we are well below average at the moment. Morning clouds tomorrow throughout the week ahead. By the middle of the week, those afternoon highs, although they'll only be a couple of degrees warmer than what we'll experience today, humidity will make it feel closer to 100. Max, Stephanie?
Ouch, back to hot and humid. Okay, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. 8:50, 70 degrees out.
And hard work and determination has paid off for this graduating senior. Tomorrow on GMSA at 6, we will introduce you to the valedictorian from Poth High School.
And let's take a look at those lotto numbers. Pick 3, 2, 3, 7, Fireball 4, Daily 4, 8, 9, 4, 5, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 1, 9, 10, 23, 32. Lotto Texas 6, 12, 18, 39, 48, 49. And your Powerball numbers 2, 12, 32, 50, 65, Powerball 5, Power Play 3. Good luck.
In the news you need to know before you go, San Antonio police tell us 3 people shot at a graduation party overnight. It happened in the 4600 block of Argonne Street just before 10 o'clock. Police telling us a man running in the street was screaming for help, saying he was being chased. That's when people in a truck drove up to that home hosting the party, shot at the partygoers. All 3 taken to BAMC, 2 stable, 1 is in critical condition. Police right now have at least 1 suspect in custody. No charges have yet been filed.
Here's the power of the South Texas sun. We're already up 8 degrees from when I checked in with you just a few minutes ago. It's 78 degrees at San Antonio International Airport, still in the 60s up in the Hill Country. That low humidity will allow our temperatures to warm up even more today, 72 in Del Rio. Now, if you do want to get some yard work done today, just know that it's going to be hot in the afternoon. We're going to be seeing temperatures climb into the 90s, 92 for the high temperature today. But again, that low humidity is going to help things out quite a bit for us. East-southeast winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Quick check of the pollen count before you go. Looking good. Mold is low at 400. Grass and pigweed are low as well. And then in the 7-day forecast, slowly starting to see the humidity return by tomorrow morning. We'll have clouds and a chance for an isolated shower or storm, generally southeast of I-35 tomorrow in the afternoon. Other than that, it's going to be fairly dry over the next several days. So Max and Stephanie, hope that you guys can enjoy some time outside today because the low humidity, we got to soak it up while we can.
Good advice. I will take advantage of that. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Steph. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Happy Sunday.